What's up, Habibis? Bringing you guys another 5 things you did not know about zombies, number 5. And since this is number 5, this is going to be a very special one. It's going to have some super interesting facts. I have some of the most interesting subjects in zombies in this one. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's try to get this one to 20 likes. And guys, please do me a favor. Please share this. This video literally took so long to make and to research because I have to confirm the facts before I put them out there, because this is kind of official, you know what I mean? So I try to make these facts as true as possible. So yeah, guys, I hope y'all enjoy this video, and yeah, catch you on the next one. Number 1. Who is the first character of the 4 main zombie characters that we meet? Now, in Avogadro and Faraday, the characters that you play as are 4 Marines that are sent out to find a man named Peter McCain. Now, the first time you see Peter McCain is in Shinonuma. He is the hanging man. Now, Shinonuma is also the first time we meet the 4 main zombie characters, the whole, the 4 main zombie squad, which is Richtofen, Nikolai, Tank Dempsey, and Takio. Those are the 4 main zombie characters. Now, is Shinonuma really the first map that we see any of the characters? No, that is actually not true. If you guys didn't know, one of the 4 Marines in Avogadro and Faraday is actually Tank Dempsey. You play as Tank Dempsey in Avogadro and Faraday. Now, why do not a lot of people know this fact? The reason a lot of people do not know this fact is because the voice actor, Tank Dempsey's voice in Avogadro and Faraday is completely different from his voice in all the other maps. Why is this? Well, Treyarch actually hired a different voice actor to play Tank Dempsey in all the later maps. So the person who voice acted Tank Dempsey in Avogadro and Faraday is a completely different voice actor from all the other maps that Tank Dempsey came in later on. So it's a completely different voice actor. That is why you cannot recognize him in Avogadro and Faraday. Number 2. Who are the ancients in Origins? Samantha keeps bringing up something about ancients. Take a listen to these quotes from Samantha from Origins.
Father said the chambers were doorways, opened by the songs of the ancients. Release the souls of the ancients. The ancients thought their riddles would never be solved.
Alright, now, as you guys heard, Samantha said,
Father said the chambers were doorways, opened by the songs of the ancients.
By chambers, she's talking about the portals. Now, every portal has its song, right? So she said opened by the songs of the ancients, right? Now, each character is linked to a color. So Nikolai is linked with the color red. Dempsey is linked to the color purple. Takio is linked to the color blue. And Richtofen is connected to the color orange. Now, the portals also have these 4 colors, and whenever you put a megaphone next to one of the portals, it plays a unique song, and that song is unique to the color, and that color is unique to a character. So Nikolai's song would be whenever you put the megaphone next to the color red, so that is Nikolai's song. So whenever Samantha says the songs of the ancients, she is referring to the main characters. The red song is Nikolai's song. The purple song is Dempsey's song, the blue song is Takio's song, the orange song is Richtofen's song. So the songs of the ancients. The main characters are our ancients. Now, further proof for this is if you go around the map and you collect, you could find ripped up pieces of a picture, and if you put all these pieces together, you get this big image right here. You get this big full picture right here. And a lot of people do not know about this picture. And basically what this picture is, it's our 4 characters holding each one of their staffs. And what looks like it looks like they are in ancient Greece. So they are the ancients. Now, something I don't understand is right here it says premise. Now, you guys know how I do if I don't understand something. I'll go on Google Translate. Now, premise actually translates to first. Now, I don't really know what this can mean. Maybe the picture is saying that these 4 characters are the first people to possess the staffs. I really don't know. I'm really not sure. Now, further proof for this picture actually being in ancient Greece is whenever I typed in premise, it said Latin detected, and Latin was the language of the ancient Greek people. Now, something very interesting about the zombie storyline is that we know that these staffs made our 4 characters godly. It made them godlike. And we know this through the zombie storyline. And if you look at this picture right here, you could see the Greek people. By the way, look at their clothing. Pay attention to their long robe-like clothing. I'm going to get back to that in a second. But look at how they're kind of reaching out to them, and it's almost like they are worshiping our 4 characters, right? Now, guys, keep in mind that this god stuff is basically Greek mythology, and I want you guys to pay attention to this Guardians of the Galaxy clip right here.
Infinity Stone. These stones, it seems, can only be brandished by beings of extraordinary strength. Observe.
Now guys, look at this picture right here. This guy is literally carrying the lightning staff. And as you guys heard that guy say, he said the staffs that can only be carried and possessed by beings of extraordinary forces, aka gods basically. And that infinity stone that he was talking about is the stone that we put in our staffs when we're building our staffs. That is the infinity stone. But some of you guys might be thinking, wait, but the Guardians in the Galaxy clip, that is its own different time period from Origins. Well, guys, that is not true, and here's the proof. If you guys look right here in this clip, the people that are running away from that giant, they are wearing robes, just like in that same picture in Origins that I told y'all to pay attention to. They are wearing the same Greek clothing, so that shows that this is in the same time period, and it has to do with the Greek mythology thing, so it matches up with Origins. So basically, guys, I showed you that to prove the theory that the staffs actually made our characters godlike. Number 3. Alright, guys, now for this one, you have to know how the wonder weapon on Call of the Dead works. Basically, you shoot a zombie and it comes back to life. It turns a zombie into a human, so it brings him back to life. Now, the name of this wonder weapon is the VR11. Now, the VR11 is spelled very close to the word Vril, V-R-I-L. Now, what is Vril? Vril is an energy source that produces life, and this was shown in a science fiction comic called The Coming Race. Furthermore, whenever you pack a punch the VR11, it turns into the VR11 Lazarus. Now, Lazarus was a guy from the Bible who got resurrected by Jesus Christ, basically, and that is referring to what the gun does. It revives zombies into humans. So that is why the gun is called the VR11 Lazarus. Number 4. Alright, now to understand this one, you have to understand that the zombie storyline runs off of the conspiracy theory of the Vrilya people. The Vrilya are the people that possess the Vril energy, and they live in Agartha. And Agartha is basically a hollow earth. They live inside of Earth. Okay, so in real life, there is a conspiracy theory of the Vril race. These are extraordinary beings that they say are lizard-like, and they use the Vril energy. Now, remember the theory I talked about that was talking about how Hitler met aliens, basically? Well, those aliens are the Vril race, and Hitler used Vril energy to power Die Glock, aka the teleporter. Now, this makes sense because at the time of World War II, Hitler and his group were using unnatural chemicals. Now, this unnatural chemical was the Vril energy, and that is why you have real-life documents talking about how Hitler had, how he built UFOs and other powerful things like Die Glock. Now, further proof for the Nazis actually being connected to the Vrilya is that basically Kino der Toten is an abandoned theater that the Nazis took over to research zombies, and that is why you have Nazi flags all over Kino der Toten. But you could actually find the Vrilya. You could actually find aliens in pods in Kino der Toten if you look around, as I will show you guys here in a second. Yes, these are literally alien pods in Kino der Toten if you look around. And I actually downloaded this clip from the internet, and that's why you got that guy's link right there. But basically, guys, I showed you guys that to put a seal on the subject that the Nazis actually were connected to the Vrilya.
Their power would be a mysterious substance called Vril. They also believed that one day they would take over the world. They came very close. The mysterious group claimed influence in the highest ranks of the German power structure of the 1930s. This dark fellowship may have been a Nazi cult.
Number 5. The backstory of the Avogadro, aka the electric zombie boss in Transit, and we find a connection between Transit and Buried by using the backstory of the Avogadro. Now, the Avogadro is a constant source of energy used to power Transit, and this is referring to his name Avogadro, which is a constant in chemistry, but I'll get to that in a second. So basically, the Avogadro, he is theorized to be created by the United States HARP research facility, with the HARP research facility actually being a short distance away from the power station, according to what we know about, the location of Transit and stuff like that. This is a very possible theory. Now, HARP is a real-life thing that is the United States' secret weapon that is used for weather modification. Basically, they were trying to achieve electromagnetic warfare. So basically, if the United States can control the weather during war, and this is a real-life thing that the United States actually tried to achieve, basically, if they could control the weather during war, they would be, unbeatable, basically. In Zombies, the Avogadro is a HARP experiment that was either a success or wrong. So basically the Avogadro is the United States attempt for HARP. Now the Avogadro actually does have the ability to control the weather. When the Avogadro is released, there's actually a storm that happens, if you guys didn't notice, and he can also shoot electric bolts from his hands, which was the electromagnetic warfare that the US was trying to achieve. Now, he did achieve what the U.S. wanted him to do by modifying the weather, but it is theorized that he was a fail because he had to be contained because he grew out of control. Now, his name comes from Avogadro's number, which is a constant in chemistry. Now, this constant is often used in Faraday's constant. Now, who is Faraday? Michael Faraday is actually the guy who owns the buried mansion. He is the guy that's in all the pictures around the buried mansion. He's that guy in the pictures. Now, Faraday's constant in physics is actually used to determine the electric charge of the electrons in 1 mole. So now we can see that there's a direct connection between the Avogadro's formula and Faraday's formula and the electric man Avogadro in transit and Michael Faraday. Also, further proof that transit is connected to buried is that Michael Faraday is theorized to be the one who created the paralyzer, and the jet gun on transit is actually, if you didn't know, the jet gun on transit is actually an unfinished prototype of the paralyzer. Now think about it. The paralyzer does every single thing that the jet gun does. It even kills them in the same fashion with this like air-like swirl that comes out of the gun. Also, you could glide with both of them. And further proof that the jet gun was actually a prototype is how bad it is. It was an unfinished prototype, and as you guys know, if it like overheats, it explodes, and it kind of sucks. So that is further proof that it was just a prototype.
Number 6. The Illuminati.
Let's start off with the Der Riese loading screen. Now, if you look at all the question marks on the loading screen right here, and you connect them all together, it makes a star, a satanic-looking star. Alright, let's keep going. Let's look here at the World at War Pack-a-Punch camo. Now, as you guys can see, it looks like there's like a devil head in the middle of it, and I cropped it out right here, and it shows it more clearly, the devil head. And this is something you're going to have to pay attention to right now. You see those spots that are like circled? Alright, now all the dark spots and the curves are the ones that are circled, right? And if you connect all the curved spots and the dark spots together, you get this Masonic or this like satanic looking star right here. Coincidence again? I think not. Also, we can't forget about the picture we found in Zombies of the Illuminati code, and this is the actual Illuminati language that says living dead, aka zombies. Also, right here we got pictures found in Verrückt of the Illuminati sign, and of course, how can you forget all the Illuminati signs found in Ascension? There are so many, many Illuminati signs in Ascension. Also, right here, the pentagram, or the pentagon, which is shaped like the pentagram, which is the Masonic satanic star shape. And we know that the map 5 is actually in the pentagon. Now, Treyarch picked the map 5 for a very good reason. Washington, D.C.'s layout is actually a Masonic-looking shape right here. As you guys can see, the Masonic star on the left, and that geometrical Illuminati sign on the top right. If you did not know about that symbol, that is one of the symbols. And that's crazy because this is the actual layout of Washington, D.C. Also in the map 5, we have pictures of George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, Benjamin Franklin, and Abraham Lincoln. George Washington was a known Mason, just like Alexander Hamilton and Benjamin Franklin. These are known Masons, and their pictures are hung up in the Pentagon in 5. Now, if you don't know what Masonry is basically another branch of the Illuminati. Now, we know about the whole idea with magic and zombies, and just listen to Takio right here on Ascension.
Pack-a-punch! Look, your black magic!
Also, Richtofen says the following quote after picking up the floating hammer to repair the barriers.
Sounds like the handiwork of the Masons.
We know that the Masons are no stranger to black magic, and further proof that the hammer was actually magic, like they're repairing the barriers, is if you go into the Black Ops 2 custom games for zombies, if you go into the settings, it has certain things you could turn off, and as you guys see right here, it says magic. Now, if you turn off this capability, it actually does not let you repair the barriers. It does not let the barrier planks float up and repair themselves. So that is proof that that is actually the magic, and that is why Richtofen said sounds like the handiwork of the Masons whenever he picked up the hammer. Also, we get a lot of playing around with numbers, and a good example is in Ascension. Whenever the rocket is taking off, the mysterious voice, aka Yuri, he says the numbers 13255. So if you put 3, 2, and 5 in brackets, and you multiply 3 times 2, and that gives you 6 minus the 5 that's also in that bracket, and that's 1. So we get 115. Now we actually get another number play type thing with Richtofen.
You remind me of patient 13225.
Alright, so right here we have the numbers 1, 3, 2, 2, and 5. So if you multiply 2 times 2, that gives you 4, and 4 minus 3 is 1, so we get 115. And also the number 322, a big reference to the Skull and Bones Club, which, if you did not know, is a very important branch of the Illuminati. Also, since we were talking about the Pentagon and its satanic references, here's a picture of George Bush. George Bush was a known Skull and Bones member, and here's a picture of him standing with them in their photo.
The Illuminati will never get their hands on me again.
We lay, my love and I, beneath a weeping willow, but now alone I lie, and weep beside the tree.
The support is, if you look at this gun right here, this pack-punch gun on Mob of the Dead, and you can see Illuminati signs all over it. I mean, just look at that on the bottom right hand corner right there. You got it all over the side of the gun and stuff like that. That's something